Just like I said, right after the Stone Cold podcast with Paul Heyman, we would go live, and here we are, Sir Owen Disney alongside Mr. Entertainment Aaron, and of course, Ashley. Yes, that is his name. Let's talk about Raw, actually. But before we get started, welcome, Aaron and Ashley.
Hello.
Something happened. Something we need to know.
Do you want to talk about it first, or do you want to talk about it last?
No, we've got to talk about the pre-show and how apparently they are also embracing the Seth Rollins cross-eyed porno look meme.
I've seen that up a lot today.
Yeah, that is a very popular meme right now. When it comes to, is it meme or meme? I always get confused.
I think it's meme, actually.
Meme, okay. I always get confused with that. But, yeah, no, that's very popular in the past 24 hours with Seth Rollins' face expression. More than Dean Ambrose, because Dean Ambrose kind of had the same expression. They both had the same expression on their faces. It was hilarious.
Yeah, could you imagine that expression if he was still dressed like a police officer?
Yeah.
Gee, Mr. Krupke.
Exactly.
And I thought it was humorous that they actually showed them on the Raw pre-show, something that, that we wouldn't really kind of share on their programming. Maybe social media, but not on something like the pre-show.
So you obviously watched the pre-show, and I usually miss it because I was taking care of some last-minute business with the channel. So, Aaron, what happened on the pre-show tonight?
Well, they showed those memes, and Corey Graves, I think he touted how right he was, I guess, about, Kevin Owens winning against John Cena, because I guess that was maybe one of his predictions. But maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I didn't see the Elimination Chamber kickoff. I still haven't seen it because I know it's a bit of on-demand. And David Otunga, I think, jumped down Corey Graves' throat about, it was about a bold prediction about tonight's show.
Okay.
God, I forgot what it was, but he just jumped down his throat. He was like, "Oh well, come on, I forgot who it was about. I think it was about Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins."
No, his bold prediction was Lana and Dolph are gonna split.
Oh yeah. I think that was it. There was one point where Corey Graves said that Dean Ambrose definitely didn't win the championship. Clearly.
Yeah, because the referee died for his own sins.
Yeah, and they showed the replay, I think, during the pre-show, and I was like, wow, that referee did go down pretty hard.
Yeah, that looked vicious as all get out, too, when he took it right to the top of the head. Whatever
that referee's name was, and Paige, those severe spots at Elimination Chamber, and Michael Hayes said on Twitter, watch Raw tonight after a very successful Elimination Chamber. I beg to differ. The only thing successful about Elimination Chamber was Kevin Owens versus John Cena.
Yeah.
Which you should have had plastered on the poster, Kevin Owens versus John Cena instead of Ryback.
Don't forget, we've had some really interesting people on the poster for shows before, and they meant absolutely nothing when you actually had the actual show.
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's interesting, because sometimes it means something to the show. It could be a spoiler some of the times. I took a look at the thumbnail image when I logged on to the WWE Network just before the Stone Cold podcast. I selected it to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Dean Ambrose is on the Money in the Bank poster, so what does that tell you? But it could be the opposite, since we kind of, not have locked our official predictions for the event. We all think Roman Reigns is going to win. I've seen one comment on social media that people think Roman Reigns is going to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. Obviously, we'll get to it, but it seems like imminent that he will win the Money in the Bank ladder match after tonight. But
see, the weird thing about that is, and even though we're getting ahead of ourselves here in this way of thinking, but when it comes down to it, honestly, they're setting him up to fail by building him up so heavy.
Yeah, it could be one of those things where they're building him up and then they're going to fail him again, or bring him back down. I should say, not fail him, but bring him back down again, and then that would kind of leave Roman Reigns fans and even new fans, the people that have newfound respect for Roman Reigns. Like I said, I had newfound respect for Roman Reigns after I saw that 30-minute W24 documentary. I learned a lot about him. When that happens, if that happens again, everyone will be scratching their heads, and they'll kind of be like, like how they are for Rusev and Bray Wyatt. What's next?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about that, and we'll go into it as we progress. But real quick, if you haven't checked out the Elimination Chamber podcast, and I can see by the numbers that a lot of you have, you can go back and check it out on the WWE pay-per-view playlist here on Pop, or it's going to be on the main page for a little bit longer, because as you get only 4 up there, that's the only options you have, and then when you put more content up, basically it eliminates 1, so it'll be up for a few more days. But
So what you're trying to say is the Elimination Chamber will get eliminated?
yes.
It is so odd. 2 things. I didn't know the hashtag for last night was EC Popcast. I was using WWE Popcast, the Raw hashtag, the whole broadcast. And
Yeah.
I don't even promote these shows, because sometimes I sleep late and I get caught into things. And then when I get to promote them, there's already 100 views. So I'm like, oh, my work is done. I didn't even have to promote it.
Yeah, we're doing quite well, so obviously we haven't got the live numbers really yet, but the archive numbers are outstanding right now.
Yeah, well, exactly. We can't have dirt sheets tell us that, we're going to go off the air like TNA. You got to count the DVR viewers like Dixie Carter says.
That's exactly what we're doing right now, and that's the reason why the archive goes up the next day.
Yeah.
And technically it's still the next day now, so this is official the next day.
Yeah.
Because we're starting after midnight.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. I don't know where the numbers are for NXT TakeOver, but obviously that must have, maybe not broken a record, but maybe it did. I don't know. Because that was my first NXT TakeOver. Numbers. I'm not the founder of Pop, but if I was, I'd be incredibly happy with those numbers.
We did very well with a video that was very messed up due to Google Hangouts screwing up that hardcore that night.
Oh yeah, that was it.
And Ashley apologized. I apologized.
I'm disappointed knowing that you didn't say the next 3 days.
Oh boy.
And I can't use that line tonight because he didn't say it. God damn it, Seamus. They're listening.
That's right. That is correct. So yeah, that's what we had. So go back and check out the Elimination Chamber podcast if you'd like to. You can listen along while you watch. Aaron did it last night, and it was entertaining for him, so it could work for you as well.
Yeah, you guys gotta try that out. Out there listening. It was really great. I mean, just like it was spot on. Like Lana was talking to Dolph Ziggler backstage. Oh my God, it's happening right now. And then Paige had the spot. Oh. That was my favorite. So.
Yeah, that was my favorite reaction of yours last night. You're like, oh, and it's like, well, we know what you just saw.
For an actual minute there, I thought you were watching it again because they were repeating it again on the network. I was like,
yeah, well, I had to, I guess, catch the replay because I didn't catch the first half of the event. But I think that's how it worked perfectly. So had I catch the whole event, I probably wouldn't have watched it again.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Raw, shall we? San Antonio, Texas. And Xavier Woods is the only one that went for the cheap heat shooting on Tim Duncan.
Son.
He's the only one that did an NBA Jam reference.
He didn't make they made a lot of them a couple weeks ago, and now they kind of got away from it a bit.
Well, because he's not saying boom shakalaka enough.
That was glorious. All right, so the Authority comes out, like was predicted on the podcast last night. Rollins is bullying because he doesn't have the championship.
Oh, wait a second. Did somebody have notebook paper?
Maybe.
Oh. Because I was like, I took these notes for nothing. I'm scared.
No, you didn't. You're good.
Okay.
Chime in if you're missing anything, because I try to hit the high points as much as I can.
Oh, yeah, no, I definitely was doing that. It's tough during some of the matches, especially when they pick up pace. But yeah, no, I guess I could, chime in if you forget a key point.
Yeah, match-wise, I don't think I'll miss anything. Ashley, go ahead.
Owen's covering over Dankis memes. That's what you need to know.
I would much rather cover the matches than the promos, because the promos give me carpal tunnel every week.
Although, I don't know about you, I could not write during the Owens and Cena promo. We're getting to that, but I just cannot write during it. It was captivating.
I got it. No worries.
Yeah.
I have to do my job here. So
I wrote enough. I just went, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Nice. Okay, so all the authority are out, and that does include Triple H and Stephanie. Stephanie calls Ambrose a klepto. The Money in the Bank briefcase, the Intercontinental title, the WWE title. Should we fine him, suspend him, or fire him?
Don't be a bully, be a racist.
Yeah, God. Roman comes out because...
That's a bit of a derogatory term.
Oh, God. So Roman comes out instead of Ambrose, and he says, Dean's not stupid, he's not here, and he may never come back. Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
That line, now I think about it, did not make any sense. Like, he may not come back. Oh, is he CM Punk now?
that would be the gist of it, basically.
Yeah.
He did blow the kiss before he left through the crowd last night. So, yeah.
Dean Ambrose is going to UFC.
I think he would do decent.
Well, then that kind of, is somewhat of a repeat storyline, but in a slap in the face of CM Punk, is that, we're going to do kind of like the same thing, even though it wasn't heavily involved in the finish, because CM Punk leaving the WWE with the title, there was a build to that, and that was a storyline. And this was different. This was just based off of match conclusion that Dean Ambrose just happened to want to leave Corpus Christi. I would want to leave Corpus Christi, too, after that crowd with the title.
Yeah, tonight's crowd was like, yay, we are traditional wrestling fans. So that's what tonight's crowd was.
Big difference.
We are the WWE universe. And so of course, Roman says Ambrose may be crazy, but he's not stupid. And basically, he's not coming back unless he gets his rematch at Money in the Bank. And what we said was going to happen, but scoffed off by saying, nah, there's no way they do another one. Yeah, they are. They're doing a ladder match.
It was like my worst, I can't say nightmare, but just like the announcement of Elimination Chamber, totally unexpected. You have the Money in the Bank ladder matches, so is this, I know it's a gimmick pay-per-view, so is this pay-per-view like, I don't know, it just seems like a mixture of TNA, and not TNA, what am I talking about? TLC. It's a mixture of TLC and Money in the Bank.
Kind of.
Because this is the second ladder match between Ambrose and Rollins, correct?
Ashley?
Because they had a match at TLC. I think it was a ladder match.
I don't think they've had one yet. I could be wrong. That's the reason why I'm going to defer to Ashley on this one.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, all I was going about is it can't be TLC.
Yeah.
Unless it's going to be out. Officially. Unofficially, guerrilla warfare, but whatever.
Okay, that's fair.
Clearly, it's going to be a good match with a lot of good spots because they have great chemistry. But just by tonight, I'm not entirely sold on the match like I was with John Cena and Kevin Owens 2 weeks before the pay-per-view. Like, I'm already sold on Kevin Owens versus John Cena because there's a rematch. And if tonight's promo didn't sell you again for their rematch, then I don't know what will. I mean, it's only going to get better from here.
Vince Russo.
Well, here comes the issue. Here comes the issue when the feedback on the microphone started to overpower the promos. Stephanie sounded like she was underwater.
Yeah, that was actually really bad. I was wondering where those tech issues was coming from. And then, I don't know about you, but the satellite feed, did something weird for a quick second. And I don't know what she was wearing. It looked like she was wearing, like, grass. I don't know what that was.
Nice.
I really don't, but...
She looked like she was wearing... What kind of grass, Aaron?
Like cut grass. Like, grass that needed to be cut. I mean, like, her dress... I mean, I don't know what kind of fabric is that? I'm not a fashionista, but...
For a minute, I thought you said brass, and I thought she came out with tag belts.
She's grabbed a hold of that brass ring.
Yeah, and the dankest memes.
Yeah, it was odd, what she was wearing. But yeah, no, the feedback on the mic was even more odd. And I guess they finally fixed, because all of a sudden they finally fixed it. They didn't need to pick up a new microphone. Because that would have been weird, but it's live television, so I guess it was a funny element of of it happening, but
Paul Heyman had some issues with the microphone giving him trouble several months ago.
Yeah,
I recall that.
And it seemed to work after he always hit it. So Stephanie and Triple H didn't do that. Stephanie can bitch slap something, and it can work. So she could have slapped on the microphone, and it could have worked. But
we talk a lot of trash. Okay, maybe I just talk a lot of trash on Roman Reigns, call him Aquaman, stuff like that. But he does get a really funny line here. He tells Rollins, "You run with your mom and dad. You have the tiniest security of all time."
That was pretty funny.
He calls him the worst champ ever.
What about Vern Troyer's security?
We could talk about Angelina Love's security. They were about as useful as that. Oh, I'll talk about that on Wednesday.
How is Davey Richards? So be careful what you say.
I'll talk about that on Wednesday, actually. I will, actually. That's in that NXT and Impact video is coming up on Wednesday. Look for it at midnight on Tuesday night, by the way. Anyway, so Seth will prove to Evan. He stops himself. He says the word Evan. He was trying to say everyone, but he says Evan instead. So he's going to prove it to Matt Sydal that he's the man. No J&J. No J&J, no 7-foot piece of crap, and the crowd was like, "Ooh," like that was some sort of sick burn or something.
He's only 6'9". Oh.
Lifts are a wonder, folks. He wore bigger ones when he actually was wearing the actual outfit. Now he's, like I said...
That should be Randy Orton's new T-shirt. Do you even lift, bro?
God. It just still boggles my mind that Randy Orton's Tron just simply says, "in my veins."
Well,
I'm not touching that, but that's what it says.
What happened when the random drug test happens in a month?
Someone's gonna pee for Randy Orton. Okay, so Rollins says, "I will prove who is the absolute undisputed world heavyweight champion." He accepts, and he drops the mic and leaves. So Stephanie gets in Roman's face and channels her dad and says, "Who do you think you are?" And Triple H is like, Stephanie, calm down. It's like, he's Roman Reigns. He's a participant in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Remember when Seth Rollins destroyed your hopes and dreams at WrestleMania? You don't have to compete, and maybe you won't even will compete after tonight. if you lose this next match, you're out of Money in the Bank. Stay right here. I'll go out and find you an opponent. The opening was fine. It was. Roman's starting to show more personality. I think, honestly, if you make him sound like a robot, he will be a robot. I think if he shows more personality, fans will get more into him. And the San Antonio crowd went nuts for him tonight.
Yeah, they did. And also, that promo, I think it was WrestlingInc.com tweeted when they were doing their live coverage that at least it was a 16-minute promo, not like a 25-minute promo. It was quick, straight to the point, as these promos should be. And obviously, if we're going to cover what was talked about in the Stone Cold podcast, we can talk about how promos should be.
Yeah, that would be where your notes come in, sir.
I didn't take notes during Stone Cold podcast, but I definitely remember what was talked about. It was a very highlighted, a highlight reel interview.
Go back and check out the Elimination Chamber podcast, viewers, because this is what I mentioned last night. It must have been misconstrued. Oh well, things happen. So Roman Reigns is out, and when we come back, commercial break, of course, Wade Barrett is his opponent. This match actually was a lot better than I thought it would be.
It was a hard-hitting match.
We come back from commercial break, and Barrett hits a knee drop, and then locks on a chin lock. Roman punches his way out. Okay, real quick. Before I continue anything more, I'm sure all of you will agree right now, anybody that's looking for it, or anybody that actually has ears that can hear it, they really got to stop Mike in the ring, because, my God, the spot calling is insane now. I hate to bring that up, but it is horrible now.
You can, I don't hear them, but you can see them mouth words to their opponents.
Okay, there's a thing you learn when you are starting out. There's two things. Number one, you call it in the back. Before the match starts, you work out everything. Or you do something called walk and talk. Walk and talk works, but people, I hate to call out Cena, but Cena's the worst at it. Matthew knows that.
Cena talks too much, yeah.
Yeah, Matthew knows that. So, yeah, shout out to Botchmania, of course. Like Matthew needs a shout out, but I'm giving him one anyway because he deserves it. I will say right now that, yeah, get the ring unmiked because it is getting really obvious. Like, if you're looking for it, if you know what to look for, or even if you don't, you're still hearing it regardless if you want to or not. And I find it weird that when I've got the closed captioning on, because I've been watching it that way, because sometimes I'll get a phone call in the middle of the show and I have to multitask, do notes, and talk on the phone. When it comes down to it, it seems like I can hear spots clearer when this SAP is on. Does that make any sense to you guys?
I never watched it on SAP. I heard it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, because especially when things like glitch out, is like the words are weird.
Yeah. But here's a question for you, since you've probably you have been in the ring. You probably built a ring, down a ring.
That is correct. That's what you do when you start out. You pay your dues.
Right. So hence NXT. Great learning experience for them. But anyways, to my question, with a company as big as WWE, I think is WWE the only company that actually has microphones underneath the ring?
No.
Other companies have microphones underneath the ring, so you can hear the impact. Is that why?
That's part of it, yes.
Okay.
It's funny because there was this really janky special that was on NBC, like All Secrets of Pro Wrestling, and a lot of superstars from the indies kind of got blacklisted for being a part of it. Mike Modest was one of them. A lot of the APW guys, actually, if I remember correctly. Max Justice, Mike Modest, makes sense, right? Great talent, but they kind of screwed themselves by getting involved with it. The only person that came out unscathed was Harley Race, because he was done under the shadow of darkness. And it's obvious that it's him, and he was out a long time ago, so it's not like I'm really saying things that's not already known by some people. But yeah, basically microphone usually underneath the ring. It's not all the time, but it can be. You notice a lot more in indie shows, like small town indie shows.
Oh, okay. Well, you know,
WWE is a lot, but problem with WWE is they got the high def cameras, so they can pick up the people. If you're a lip reader, WWE's got to be a nightmare to watch.
yeah. A lot of the times, that's what I'm noticing. But even if you're sitting in the cheap seats, you can hear them slam the ring.
Yeah, and that's good. That impact sounds good, obviously, and trust me, it's not like it's a trampoline there. Trust me, that mat hurts.
Yeah.
We're not addressing the true issue, though.
Go ahead, Ashley.
Secretly, you had SAP on, so you knew how to do the Spanish, so you knew what the hell you were tweeting about.
Okay, did it do it again? Please tell me, anybody that's paying attention to Twitter right now, did it do it again? Did it, when it gave the link, did it come up in Spanish again?
See, I don't even know, but I think secretly you're trying to learn Spanish.
No. I mean, if I was learning it, no, I'm not going to learn another language. That's just not me. That requires work, and I'm not down with work. Aaron, you have any answer to that?
To the
Spanish tweet about the podcast.
Oh no! The Spanish tweet about the podcast. You talking about the one that says I started a live stream because that's in English tonight.
Thank God. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Dank is me, that is.
Oh, God.
Right up there with the Ultimate Warrior tonight. Dank is me.
All right, let's talk about other spots in this match. Barrett hits the field goal kick because Roman misses the charge in the corner. He gets stuck on top. Gets a 2 count off of that. Surfboard with the knee between the shoulder blades, and it goes back to a chin lock. Roman punches his way out, whip in, ducks his head. He gets kicked in the chest. Barrett off the ropes. Eats the Samoan drop after ducking the clothesline. Both men are down. They trade punches. Barrett cuts him off with a boot and comes off the ropes. Rebound clothesline from Roman Reigns. Charges in, eats the back elbow. 2 clotheslines and repeated clotheslines in the corner. Barrett tries with the big boot, but basically ends up eating a leaping clothesline, gets a near fall off of that one, does Roman. Wasteland is countered and ducks the clothesline, wins of change, 1-2, and a kick out. So he readies up the bullhammer because apparently when you are getting ready to throw the elbow, you have to change your elbow pad inside out. I've never got that, but I guess it's one of those, hey, by the way, look.
He likes the color red.
He does not need to be a bullfighter, that's for sure.
Also in my notes, I wanted to note it that if you noticed the beautiful suplex that Reigns did to Barrett. No, Barrett did to Reigns.
Hmm.
That was a good
Because
suplex.
he's British. If you don't know how to do a suplex, you might as well, just leave the business.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it was before the first attempt, which was failed of the Samoan drop.
Yeah. So he runs for the bullhammer, and Roman counters with a roll-up, and he picks him up and basically kind of like Nova Sledge-O-Matic. But he sits out with a side sit-out powerbomb. He gets a near fall off of that one. Looked good, by the way. Barrett goes to the apron, and he rakes the eyes and the neck snap across the ropes. And I believe that's the first time that Roman Reigns got decked in the eye on the night, because pretty much all night they were working on his eye.
Yeah, I guess he really did, rake his eyes.
I hope he didn't do that to his eyes. That's not cool.
Somebody went to the local garden centre and said, "Have you got a rake, mate?" "Yeah." "Can I have one too, please?"
So, basically, we ready the finish here. Bullhammer is ducked, the spear, 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns wins. So, yeah, I enjoyed the match. I really did. It was a good back-and-forth match. Wade Barrett, I thought, is very underrated. It sucks that he's snake-bitten, given the fact that he's injury-prone, but hopefully they'll do something more with him in the near future. Giving him King of the Ring as a start, I saw this and I was thinking, yeah, this gets Roman out of the match, and this gets him against someone else, and it gives Barrett the spot in King of the Ring. Not King of the Ring, but Money in the Bank, because I've been calling Barrett winning Money in the Bank for a long time, and it still hasn't happened. And it won't happen this time either, unless
It was nice and quick.
Yeah, it worked.
Nice, quick match.
So Triple H and Stephanie comes out and says, "You're still in if you beat the next opponent," and ends up being Mark Henry.
See, you just mentioned something that we probably need to address as well, which actually happened before Raw came on and wasn't even on the pre-show.
Go ahead.
You said two words that made me go, okay, here's a segue. It's a moment drop.
Yes, I want to mention it too.
So I don't know what this is. Whether this is Superstars or whether this is a dark match.
Yeah, it's a Superstars like ring apron, but it still could have been a dark match.
Yeah. Tyson Kidd took on some little-known guy called Samoa Joe.
I mean that guy that comes out to the game show theme?
Yeah, Price is wrong, Chris. See, the thing is, I'm wondering whether that's happened because of what was announced later on in the night.
You know the reason why he was there, though, right?
Ring of Honor.
The reason is that officially it has pretty much been announced without WWE officially confirming it, but I have a feeling it's about 99% correct, and it'll be confirmed within the next couple days. Samoa Joe has signed an official WWE contract, just like Kevin Owens did, and once he is done with a short run in NXT, he will report to the main roster. So, yes, we could easily see Samoa Joe potentially on SmackDown this week.
I'm sort of wondering if they've...
And I'm sorry to cut in what Ashley was saying. If we see him on SmackDown, that is huge for that show.
I'm also sort of wondering whether they've done this because of the Destination America announcement.
I think so.
Because then that puts the kibosh on him wrestling on television for the TV tapings in a couple of weeks.
They'll make that match just for the live crowd, and they'll do it's Kazarian and Daniels against AJ and Joe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Think about that. All four former TNA, and now probably doing much better on the Indies in Japan and in WWE respectively.
Yeah, kudos to Samoa Joe because apparently his merchandise sales pushed WWE to sign him. That's what I'm hearing right now. So
we'll get to merchandise in a minute.
All right. So where are we here? Okay. So Nikki Bella is talking to Byron Saxton. Well, this is a recipe for disaster. She's held the Divas Championship for 6 months, making her the longest reigning current champion in the WWE. Yeah, it's frightening. Number one, when you start announcing the dates, it's basically saying that, oh, by the way, it's ending soon. But someone said this on Twitter, and I think I might have to concur with this, even though it's kind of petty, but WWE can be very petty sometimes, hence the WCW stuff with Sting at WrestleMania. Think about it from this perspective. I don't think Nikki's dropping the title now until she beats AJ's reign.
Which is very annoying because,
yeah.
Okay, we're not on the Divas title match yet, are we?
We've got a while, actually.
Okay, good. I'm going to save my comments for that.
Yeah. So, Nikki is honored to be in the Divas division. Yeah, I want to be a diva more. If I was a woman, I'd much rather be an NXT woman than a diva.
Yeah.
But making more money as a diva, too, and more exposure.
WWE terms, Bruce Jenner may have made the wrong decision.
Yes. and Drake Bell is still a massive tool. That had to be said.
Did either of you saw the photo that Jeremy Borash tweeted out today of Caitlyn Jenner, but
EC3's face?
EC3's face was plastered, and instead of call me Caitlyn, it said call me Ethan. He got so much hate for that, and real quick, I mean, I just think a lot of people in the world have lost sense. Well, they're too sensitive when it comes to to issues like these. I mean, obviously, this is a unique issue. This is way off, but this is a unique issue that the country hasn't seen, nor does it need the attention that it got on social media today. It was kind of nauseating that it was like the #1 trend most of the day. But I don't know. I thought it was funny. I don't think they were making fun of it. They
No.
just, it was all with good intentions, and he got so much hate on it. I'm glad he didn't delete the picture. I hope he didn't delete the picture, but I thought it was hilarious.
People need to lighten up. I mean, this is the reason that Hollywood lost Bill and Ted.
Yeah, yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem.
And I'll talk about that on Wednesday.
Yeah,
But
I can't wait to hear it.
But
yeah,
still,
it's a problem in everything.
Let's get confused as to who's heel and who's face in the Divas division.
Oh my God! Can we? Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Trust me.
Yeah.
But before that,
What's here with this promo?
I know. That's where we're going.
Paige comes in going, I want a Divas Battle Royal. So I sort of think I'm deserving of a one-on-one match.
Yep, it's true.
And then Nikki, in her infinite stupidity, despite the fact Paige just got a heel promo, and says, what gives you the right to say that you deserve a title match? My answer to you is yes. With what? What? No. This isn't how this goes, people.
No.
This ain't a scene, it's a goddamn arms race. I don't know.
I cannot wait till we get to that Divas title match.
Well, yeah, we got.
We're going. It'll be about another 2 hours.
That's real. That's in my second page of notes, so we got a bit. But we'll get through stuff as quick as we can. So Ryback comes out wearing the Intercontinental title. He gets on the.
Just kidding.
Yeah, he gets on the mic. He says he's proud to be champion. San Antonio reminded him of who he is, and they chant "Feed me more." That's all that needs to be said.
Yeah, because I felt like we would get an IC title open challenge because his promo was so similar to what John Cena's doing every week, except for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's what I felt from that.
All right, let's talk about where this went. Apparently, this was going to set up a title defense against The Miz. Well, The Miz comes out in whatever god-awful thing he's wearing.
Good old Tapau. Sade. Actually, Sade's more realistic with that sort of hood.
Yeah, I actually like how the Miz, it just dawned on me, I like how the Miz gets the towel shot, and he came back, and he has done nothing to get that towel shot.
He had a movie. That's it.
Yeah.
17. And Santa's Little Helper.
And that comes straight to DVD.
Simpsons dog and not a movie.
Oh, God. So, before this match even starts, we get the return of the Big Show.
He should have stayed away and drank those Sonic shakes.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a little bit, too. Big Show punches the Miz, knocks him out. He says, if anyone's going to beat you for the title, it's going to be me. You call yourself the big guy, you ain't got nothing on the Big Show. We have set up a program between Ryback and the Big Show for the Intercontinental title. This is my personal hell.
Your Hollywood A-lister guy who's heel
Yes.
got jobbed by one knockout punch by a heel.
Yes.
So instantaneously, Big Show turned face and then heel again in the space of 30 seconds.
He broke his own record.
Yeah.
That's amazing in its own right. So, oh God. Okay, but honestly, when you really look at it, this may not be a bad feud for Ryback for the Intercontinental title. Big Show has been Intercontinental Champion before, so it's not something it's unknown territory for him.
Well, I like how that Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal trophy just, has no meaning after a couple months after the event.
Yeah, they decided to stop carrying it around live events, so they decided that we're just going to take it back to Stanford and let it just sit in the warehouse.
So,
They've had to melt it down to turn it into the briefcase for this year's Money in the Bank.
Yeah, because the briefcase gets destroyed nearly every year, so yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, like what is the point anymore though? I mean, if it's not like going to, I guess IWC have taken it as it's going to jumpstart someone's career as it should have for Cesaro, which it did. Obviously, it's doing nothing to Big Show because for unknown reasons. I mean, not that I know of. Like, do we know why he took the time off that he did and he returned tonight?
Just like Randy Orton, there was nothing for him to do.
Oh.
So, okay, let's talk about one of my favorite segments of the night. Kevin Owens comes out. He says, when I say I'm going to do something, I deliver. I'm paraphrasing, by the way, because it's really hard to write down every single word of a promo, but I do the best I can. I said I'd win the NXT Championship. I delivered. I said I'd take out Sami Zayn. I delivered. And I said I'd leave John Cena lying in his own puddle of whatever at Elimination Chamber. I delivered. And I should be on top of the world right now. But I'm not. My wife, she was proud. My son, on the other hand, is a kid. Obviously, just like other kids, he loves John Cena. And all he kept saying was, is John okay? Is he all right?
That definitely has to be at work, and I think we can agree on that his son is a fan of John Cena, because we clearly know who the son is a fan of because of that video.
The son is a big fan of John Cena.
Well, then that video had no meaning.
No. It's a completely different dichotomy here. He's a fan of both, but they're playing on the fact that he's a fan of John Cena, and it's all about the corporate machine that is John Cena. That's what this whole thing's about.
Oh yeah, no, I noticed that. So it's actually it's valid, and it's just not adding fuel to the fire. It's just adding to the importance of the storyline.
Yes.
That he wants to destroy, basically his son's hero.
He says, "I get it, but I don't think it's okay. I understand why. It's not my son's fault. It's blind worship. Cena's a real-life superhero, colors and catchphrases. I traveled the world honing my craft while my son was being influenced by John Cena. Cena was my son's hero, and I couldn't be because I wasn't on television. He became Super Cena, and last night I beat Super Cena." Yes, Kevin Owens has kryptonite. Cena is a broken, empty shell of a man. At Money in the Bank, I'm going to expose the lie that is Cena. And if you're a parent, make sure that your kids watch. A real role model doesn't rely on catchphrases. A real role model delivers just like I do.
Everything he said had so much more truth and valid points to it when CM Punk and Batista had basically preached the same thing about Cena.
Yep. So Cena, of course, comes out. And the first thing he does is he appeals to the LCD and calls Kevin Owens a jackass. Okay. But then he turns into Serious Cena, and Serious Cena is glorious. Serious John Cena is amazing on the mic. He tells Owens to shut up. He said the entire world is talking about you, and the fans are chanting "You got beat," and Cena acknowledges the chant. If you can't hear what they're saying, you're right. I did get beat. I was just going to walk out here, congratulate you, and hand you the United States Championship, but you don't deserve it. Matter of fact, you don't deserve the NXT Championship either. You're not a role model, or even a real man. He name drops Adam Rose, the Funkasaurus, and the XFL. And Aaron, I don't know if you saw it, but Adam Rose was trending worldwide at this point.
It was. I had not seen that.
And every time you mention the Funkasaurus, you're in for some trouble. So,
Cheap
see,
plug, going to Wednesdays, don't forget.
yes, I'll talk about that on Wednesday too from last week. May Mayhem coming up on Tuesday with the last week's edition of NXT.
Which I still have yet to see. Can you believe I still have yet to see the episode of NXT? I'm not a good fan because I had to miss. I think I was at a movie screening last week. I went to go see San Andreas on Wednesday night, so I missed Lucha Underground and NXT, and I still have yet to catch up on NXT.
Yeah, I'd rather just watch Mother Nature over and over again from the great Frank Kincaid than watch San Andreas again. But that's just me. That movie was
yes.
bad.
Politely, it is just you because it's making a crap load of money at the box office.
People have no taste and they're only there to see Dwayne. He says, they believe I deliver. Cena gets up on the soapbox like he always does. Catchphrases define me in the ring and out. He didn't say that, but that's basically what he's alluding to. I'm encouraging everyone to never give up. And he addresses a fan in the crowd wearing a John Cena shirt, basically talking about them beating cancer. I understand the humanitarian in John Cena. I completely get it. The Make-A-Wish stuff, it's fine, but I really think that is kind of going a little too far. Like, using that to get your point across, I wouldn't have necessarily went there. Aaron, agreed? Disagree?
When Cena said, I'm looking at my notes here, I'm trying to follow along.
You're fine.
When Cena said to Owens, what?
We're talking about the child in the crowd with the sign that's basically talking about trying to beat cancer.
I thought that was a nice, valid point to back up what Cena was talking about. And
yeah, but
it was inspirational. Almost made me cry at one point. My dad was saying, "Okay, can they stop showing the?"
yeah, it's tugging at the heartstrings. That's the problem, though. I mean, that was done. I mean, it's a very real situation, 100%. But when it comes down to it, that kind of stuff's done for ratings all the time during Sweeps Week, and it's sad. That's the truth. But I mean,
it's sad, and it gets mainstream media attention, and for the right reasons. And if Kevin Owens had said, "Who cares? He has cancer," that'd be so much controversial.
That would have never happened.
That would never happen. You can't do that. But that's something Kevin Owens would do.
No, not in this situation. Even with his character, he's not been built up like that. Cena says, Ashley's awake, "Fight Owens, fight" are not the three words. The words that define Kevin Owens are never give up. He says to think before you speak. At Money in the Bank, a really good wrestler will get his ass kicked by a real man. Great, very passionate promo from John Cena.
Well,
like I said,
both men too. I mean, that was I tweeted something and it got retweeted and favored at once. I don't mind how many times stuff gets retweeted or favored at once. I mean, obviously, if I had seen my tweet, I would retweet it 100 times. They had the best match in Elimination Chamber
easily,
and they had the best promo Raw tonight.
Easily,
their chemistry is unmatched.
Yeah, and it's great that this is happening too, honestly, because like we mention it all the time. Like, who would have thought back in the day when Kevin Steen was starting out in Canada that years later, 10 years down the line, he'd be main eventing against John Cena?
Should we have deserved this other than Lesnar and Cena? Because it seems like it's following along those steps a little bit because we're now getting a rematch, rematch. So shouldn't we have gotten this instead of Cena and Lesnar again?
No, not necessarily.
Because I was sold on Cena and Lesnar because of Paul Heyman.
And Heyman didn't. Heyman can talk people into the building. I get that 100%. He's a master of his craft.
Oh, yeah.
But Kevin Owens can talk himself into the building at this point. And
yeah. That's actually the difference between him and I wanted to touch base on that, and that's the one thing he can't really be compared to Lesnar. That's a difference between him and Lesnar. When Lesnar has Paul Heyman, he talks for him. But when Kevin Owens talks for himself.
Lesnar doesn't feel right on the microphone, and he understands that, so you have to give him a mouthpiece in order for him to get his point across.
Yeah,
because
I understand too, and he gets poked fun at it a lot, to the point where it's just bashing really. You can't really bash someone that is like Kevin Owens and delivers what he says he's going to do when he does have the mic or he shoots in these pre-match promos, which were awesome for SummerSlam. Because when he says stuff you're not supposed to say. And Kevin Owens is kind of like that, but he does it in such a way where it's still kind of PG.
Yeah, I love I love it. Thank you, Ashley, for your dynamite drop in. I love the way that they're building this up too. They're building up the importance of this. It feels like a world title match. It doesn't have to have a championship on the line in order to be something major. And I like that because that's something it's a lost art in wrestling right now because you don't have to have a championship on the line to be important.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, great promo from John Cena. I like serious Cena a lot better than goofy, like Mark Cena. I hate when John Cena is goofy and tries to do bad comedy. I don't like it. I never have. But when John Cena is serious, John Cena has some really great, passionate promos.
Really, homie? You don't like it?
No, that's funny you mention that because I like Cena as the rapper. I thought that worked.
Oh yeah, I did too. And when they brought it out during Cena versus Rock, everyone loved it.
All right, where are we? All right. So let's go into a singles match involving members of the Money in the Bank ladder match. And it is then announced later on in the night that there will be more than 6 participants in Money in the Bank, which is something we alluded to last night. And I guess they're just going to take people and just throw them in like randomly next week because we got a week until Money in the Bank after next week. Someone has mentioned that the house show that is at the end of the month, they're like, oh, they're going to turn it into a pay-per-view. No.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. I really wouldn't be surprised if it happened. And what did we say? June is now a free month.
Yeah, it is.
For the network. And I feel like fans are defending it as if it's like Netflix. So if it's like Netflix, then don't do a month where it's not free, because there'd be a gap in between of making these months free. Always have it free then for the new subscribers, but give back to the old subscribers too. That's my only beef with the network right now, because right now, if you keep doing these free months, my stream's going to keep pausing.
That's funny you mention that, because I have no issues with watching NXT earlier today, and I had no issues with watching Elimination Chamber last night, but I'm not going to lie, I had a lot of issues watching Raw on my actual cable network tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It kept screwing up like several times during the show. Which always made me laugh because obviously the captioning would screw up, and then I get to read some really random things, which I think I understand, like the secret recipe for the Colonel's 11 herbs and spices now because of it.
Right.
Or the lotto numbers for next week in Oregon. Who knows? One of the two. See, Ashley concurs. So, Dolph Ziggler, sporting the heavy metal Van Hammer jacket yet again, faces off with Kofi Kingston, still sporting the Orlando City gear, which makes me happy. Dolph does not have Lana come to ringside. She stands at the top of the ramp during the match. Yes, exactly. So, basically, this is a really short match. Ziggler hits the charging splash in the corner, reverse neck breaker, heart stopper elbow, gets a near fall, X-point DDT for a 2, and Xavier Woods is on the ring apron, O'Connor roll reverse, Dolph ends up getting the pin, Big E attacks, the New Day start jumping Dolph, and here comes the Primetime Players to make the save, and holla, 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 we don't need Teddy Long to know we got a six-man when we come back to commercial break.
That was just a way to extend that segment. I was not sure of it. It was a decent tag team match. But, when they do stuff like that, it just seems like, okay, what was the point of having Ziggler versus Kofi? If you're
It's the ECW mentality. You set up one match to build your next match in your segment. This is one segment if you were writing a show. So, Primetime Players and Dolph Ziggler against the New Day. This match is pretty good, actually. Xavier Woods tags in midway through, trips Darren Young to Big E's overhead release belly-to-belly suplex. And then the New Day sucks, New Day rocks chant with the claps. Now we have stomp and tag, stomp and tag, stomp and tag. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because they would stomp in the corner, and then they'd tag out. They'd stomp in the corner and tag. So, Ashley, what'd you say?
And then it all went down.
So Big E whips Kofi into a sliding drop kick, and later on in the match, Snake Eyes high kick combo on Darren Young gets a near fall. Big splash by Big E, and I think he broke the legs of Darren Young because he put his knees up, and that's not going to be good for either man. Big E charges, he goes shoulder first into the ring post, hot tagging the Titus, and Xavier Woods comes in, clotheslines Big E over the top to the floor. Titus tosses Xavier Woods around like a rag doll. Two backbreakers on Xavier, charging clothesline. The power slam, Big E makes the save. Darren Young in with a swinging neck breaker, and Titus swing to a roll-up for a near fall. Charges in, Titus makes him eat the big boot. Dolph comes in with a super kick. And since obviously he cannot use the Clash of the Titus now because of Kevin Owens being in the company, a pump handle power slam ends the match, and the Primetime Players win the match for the team with Dolph Ziggler.
Titus owned that match. He was throwing around New Day like it was nothing.
I have been saying for a long time, and longtime viewers of Pop will know that I've been saying this, Titus O'Neil is an untapped commodity. And I think they're starting to realize that now. They put the Primetime Players back together because that makes sense. And I think that we're looking at finally giving Darren and Titus the tag team titles.
Because I didn't notice that until tonight. I literally had to look up from my phone when I was making a tweet about the match, and because the commentators even seemed surprised. They were like, "Oh, look at Titus go!"
Titus is a beast, and he is awesome.
He was a beast tonight.
He has improved exponentially since he started, without a doubt. And Darren Young, a lot of people can say what they want about him. He's getting better, too.
Yeah.
This will be a match I guarantee this is the Money in the Bank match. It's going to be Xavier and Big E against the Primetime Players for the tag team titles.
Right.
So, and that works for me. The only thing that didn't work for me is that Dolph and the Primetime Players did the millions of dollars, but no Lana. Apparently, Fandango's the only person that can get Lana to dance. I got no problems with that. That's Ashley's entertainment level of this match, apparently.
Are you not entertained?
Don't say it, because that'll wake him up instantaneously. It'll say something. Ashley, say your Russell Crowe line. All right. So, Roman Reigns has to run the gauntlet yet again. He faces off against Mark Henry this time. Mark Henry punches him straight in the eye, and this match is really short. So, they fight on the floor, and Roman gets shoved into the ring post. But it doesn't matter, because he still hits a Superman punch. Roman gets in at 10, and match over. Roman wins. Hits the World's Strongest Slam, and a big splash, and he leaves. So, this is another one of my favorite lines of the night. Triple H and Stephanie are mockingly applauding Roman, and Roman's like, so you want me to keep the vest on? Triple H is like, oh yeah, you keep that vest on. you lace that vest up as tight as possible, and you need to follow the buzzards. So yes, we get Bray Wyatt against Roman Reigns in your main event. So
You know how Triple H said the buzzards? He said, "Lace up that vest and follow the buzzards."
yeah. Okay. Real quick, let's talk about the your opinions on the last two matches, Aaron, because you really didn't mention anything from the roll in from Dolph and Kofi into the primetime players and Dolph against the New Day and Roman and Mark Henry. What are your opinions on those matches?
The Roman versus Mark Henry match, it was...
Indeed.
It was a snooze. No.
Ashley agreed.
It looked like, I guess Mark Henry made Roman Reigns look good. Because Roman Reigns looked like he wasn't going to get in the ring by the 10 count. And that match was all Mark Henry at one point. And then it turned into Roman Reigns surviving, and then the post-match beatdown. And the other match you wanted my opinion on was Ziggler versus Kofi, or the tag team match, 6-man tag team match.
Into both, really. Talking about both of them as a collective.
The Alabama slam for the win. That was nice from Titus. That was kind of like the tip of the cherry top to the ice cream sundae that Titus O'Neil was cooking up in that match. Because he was a beast. He was in beast mode in that match. So I'm happy with that end result. And then Kofi versus Dolph. There's basically that was a back and forth match. But then again, I think about it, New Day attacking Ziggler after the match when he won, Mark Henry attacking Roman Reigns after the match when he won. So you did that kind of same finish twice tonight.
Yeah, but I think that you're building to an eventual match down the line with Roman Reigns and Mark Henry because you basically have set it up right there. So if Roman Reigns ends up getting knocked out of the elimination, long day. If Roman Reigns ends up getting knocked out of Money in the Bank, then there's a possibility that he can face Mark Henry in 2 weeks.
Giving all the big guys to Roman Reigns. Kane, Big Show, Mark Henry.
You got to set it up. I mean, the only person that Roman Reigns hasn't faced at this point is Baron Corbin.
Yeah, but he's in NXT. What if Baron Corbin could actually lift? No. I was thinking the wrong person. What if Baron Corbin actually did the end of days to Mark Henry?
I actually wouldn't mind seeing Roman Reigns and Rhino, though, honestly. Battle of the Spear. The Spear versus the Gore.
Would be good.
I would enjoy that. Basically we're building towards matches. Obviously, next week is the go-home show for Money in the Bank, so they're going to have to set up the card really quickly.
Oh, it's the go-home show already? Wow, that sounds familiar, like we did that last week.
Yeah, we really did do it last week.
Not that that's a bad thing or anything. I love doing these podcasts, but...
Yeah, same here.
WWE's keeping us busy.
Yeah, and then we've got Slammiversary at the end of the month.
Which I will be at.
Yes.
I'm planning to be at.
So we will be talking after Slammiversary ends. I would guess you just utilize your phone and we just do it that way.
From Universal or at home? I would probably have to get home and use the Wi-Fi.
Fair enough. You can use the Wi-Fi Universal?
Yeah, but I would not trust it. Definitely for a Google Plus call, and plus how it's gonna go down. I always have a ride that whoever I'm with, our ride comes after the event and takes us home, and doesn't usually take long. If they're on time, I'll be home like an hour after Slammiversary. I don't know about your views about TNA Popcast, like how many people tune in, but it would probably have to go down like that.
That's fine.
By the end of the event, my phone is drained of battery anyways.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that. We can set up for an hour after Slammiversary, no problem. It may just be me and you if Ashley's. Yeah. Okay, so let's pick up from the rest of this here. Let's talk real quick about the Sonic commercials.
Nick Shakes.
Yeah.
Nick Shakes.
Deciding what's better between peanut butter fudge and strawberry cheesecake, and then Kofi basically tries to play peacemaker there.
And the heavy breathing with the mega powers.
Yeah, you turned that on at the right time, or you wasn't paying attention to the screen. God knows what you think you turned on. Did you turn on Cinemax or something? That was bad. Yeah, see?
Take 57. Ooh, yeah.
Do the handshake. Do the handshake. He's like, no, I need a refill. It's like, really? Curtis Axel's priceless here.
Yeah, sometimes, like we all know I call the mega powers meh, but I didn't coin that term. And sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're stupid. It seems like they have nothing for them right now because it just seems like they're there for comical relief, and it's like they took primetime players' spot where they're doing parodies, not parodies, but they're doing promos, let alone in a backstage vignette, and not in the ring. And they were on the kickoff show, and then they were on they went from a pay-per-view to a kickoff show, and now probably Superstars in main event.
Well, here's the thing, though. Honestly, when it comes down to it, I really like the Mega Powers, but Sandow's Macho Man isn't the greatest. The look is fine, but the impersonation needs some work.
I don't understand how fans think that's the best impression of Macho Man ever. I mean, I guess people don't know about Black Machismo Jay Lethal.
Yeah, you need to watch Jay Lethal because he's the one he does the definitive Randy Savage impersonation.
Even wrestlers said he does it better.
Yeah, I believe, that Randy Savage himself, before he passed, actually said the same thing.
I believe.
But to Sandow's credit, he said sugar is sweet, so is cake, get him another Sonic shake. And Axel rips the shirt because Axelmania is running wild, brother. So we get our next match. It is for the Divas Championship. Nikki Bella defending against Paige. Who's face, who's heel? Does it matter anymore? Because I don't think they even know.
Yeah, and you must have seen the same tweet I saw, because I think wrestling anchor NoDQ.com said that. But, one of my friends had tweeted, possibly because I tweeted, that Nikki Bella is the fakest Divas champion we ever had. Fake tits, fake hair. Hair extensions. Who wears hair extensions? I know Sasha Banks wears extensions because that's her character. But really, Nikki, and you got to put your hair in a ponytail because most of that hair is fake, girlfriend. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me, and especially how long she's holding the Divas title. If it's a slap in the face of AJ Lee or not, it just doesn't make sense. She's literally holding the title until SummerSlam. Now, granted, she didn't win it at SummerSlam last year. That's when she cost Brie the match against Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
Less than a year later, we don't know who is heel and baby. And we know the Bellas are baby faces now, but in this case, who is heel and baby face? So I think after I put that tweet out about Nikki, I think my friend was like, I don't care. I'm just glad Nikki won. Oh, so you don't care? There's not a balanced feud here between Nikki and nobody else in the Divas division. Yet in the women's division in NXT, you clearly have a bad girl and a good girl.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, that's debatable because that can be flip-flopped too.
But it works if
It does work. It works a lot better here.
Exactly. It works in NXT if they flip-flop it. If they flip-flop it in WWE, it just looks weird. And Nikki flexing her muscles like she's a female version of Scott Steiner was, just annoying as hell. Like I didn't get that. She's doing I guess that means she's a heel.
She's okay. It's funny you mentioned Scott Steiner because she was doing push-ups and sit-ups for no reason during the match.
So maybe that was a way to show off to make sure everybody knows that she's a heel. Maybe officials have told her, okay, you need to make it like seem like you're a heel. And I don't know about you. I mean, to me, she just hasn't really improved in the ring. I don't know what's about. Maybe it's just her being Divas Champion for so long.
She's getting better. I will be the first to admit that she's improving, but she's got a long way to go. But she is proving that she's paying attention and she's starting to listen a little bit more.
Shouldn't she have perfected her in-ring skills before they gave her the title? Because now the title seems like a learning experience for her.
Not necessarily. This title was basically the bad thing about the butterfly belt is basically because it is centered around Total Divas.
It's sexy, smart, and powerful.
God. See, Ashley concurs. Nikki hits a slingshot suplex. Shout to JBL for bringing up Tully Blanchard. I appreciate that. Or given the fact that I already brought him up anyway, Van Hammer's Hammer Rock suplex on Paige.
Michael!
So she goes into she sets up for the PTO, it gets escaped, which, okay. Sets up the Alabama Slam, gets 2 off of that, and Paige with a sidekick for a near fall. The rack attack is escaped. She goes to the... Yes?
I'm sorry, but I'm laughing. Not at the snoring, but I'm laughing at when Paige, there was one moment where I guess she couldn't, grab Nikki, and so because there's a lot to grab on Nikki, but when she couldn't grab Nikki at one time, she was like crawling so fast, and Nikki got out of the ring. It seems like she was like a baby.
Yeah, that was awkward. Well, she goes to the middle rope, and Paige climbs up and hits the Rampage off the top, and then Nikki goes to the floor. Brie is under the ring, and yeah, great babyface move to utilize twin magic. Brie is wearing a different outfit than Nikki, and she has hair extensions over her very brunette hair, so the referee becomes in the middle of this, and this allows for Brie to pin Paige.
Like, we haven't seen this before.
Yeah, the New Day were doing it the other day.
Yeah, but, from the Bellas, though, it's okay, I guess, for the idea to repeat itself with an actual tag team, but the Bellas, are, like, singles competitors, not much of a tag team. Well, there's no tag team division in the women's division, clearly. But
Thank
it just,
God.
yeah. But with the Bellas, to do it again, though, it's like, why?
It's ridiculous because...
Thank you.
Yeah. When it comes down to it, they're baby faces. They're baby faces, and they're utilizing a trick to the referee to win a match. That's not something that a baby face does.
Oh, that's a dumb referee.
Yes.
And I liked how, if you notice, Paige was getting close to Nikki before the match, and the referee just, pushed Paige away from the stomach. You just wanted to touch her stomach.
By and large, this match was okay. It was a little bit better than... It was definitely better than the match Elimination Chamber, that's for sure. I don't know where we're leading with this because, Nikki's beaten everyone. The only thing now is to bring Charlotte or Sasha Banks in, but then what you do with it? Them in NXT, there's...
Well, you have a crop of stars. 60 people came from the Performance Center. There's a lot of women that, can take Sasha Banks and Charlotte's place, as much as it's hard to believe. But I can guarantee you, when either Charlotte or Sasha Banks come up to the main roster and face Nikki Bella, it may not be a repeat of Paige winning the Divas title on that very night, but they're going to make a big impact like every other NXT rookie has made. Sami Zayn, Neville, and Kevin Owens obviously making the biggest impact. And it's going to be odd seeing Charlotte and Sasha Banks holding the Divas Championship because they're not divas.
I see. That's the thing, though. That's the reason something I thought AJ would end up doing, and something I really wanted AJ to do when she had the championship, and that would be to get rid of the butterfly belt and bring back the WWE Women's Championship. But that never happened, and I hate that belt. I've never liked it. It looks like a hood ornament. It looks like something you could buy at Dollywood, and literally, it's like a Dolly Parton belt buckle. It's exactly what it is. And I hate the Divas Championship. I've never liked it. It looks gaudy as all get out.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I never, thought of using that word when describing it. I just thought it was, it's too girly. What's with the butterfly?
He's being beltist. That's all you need to know.
I am not being beltus, as Mr. Sleepyhead here. But, Ashley, what do you think of this, since you haven't got a chance to really voice your opinion on these last several matches?
Putting him on the spot. Got him.
Oh, my word. I want to talk for about 17 hours about the Divas.
Yeah.
I can't think why. Oh, wait, I can. They're all bloody heel.
Seriously, like I mentioned, I don't know if you heard it or not, in like I said, the REM ideal, but when it comes down to it, we were mentioning the fact that Twin Magic should not be utilized by baby faces.
Yeah, but clearly they're not baby faces.
Tell that to WWE's marketing team, because if you look at .com right now on their shop site, they're listed on the top sellers. Like, these are the people that have merchandise that you need to buy, and the Bella Twins are on that list.
Probably. So is Kevin. Speaking of that, yeah, I don't know whether this is being done on purpose now. But Kevin's in his 4th different T-shirt in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
He's literally going through them quicker than... Perhaps he's making up for it. So I can't wait for the SmackDown. Because, new T-shirt.
No, he'll have a new T-shirt at Money in the Bank. I'll wait till then.
No, we'll see.
They're promoting the red, white, and blue Fight Owens Fight shirt as a limited time thing. And if you go to shop right now, you'll see that it's actually backlogged until the end of June.
New T-shirt next week on Raw, because it was at the Go Home show before Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Money in the Bank in about 2 weeks.
Kevin Owens shirts equals money.
My answer... No, it's not Fight Owens Fight, it's Buy Owen Buy.
Yeah, there you go. That's actually a really good...
Don't buy him anything, that's just cheap.
Because I'm going to be spending some serious money if I go to Money in the Bank.
That's what I meant.
Buy Owen Buy, not Fight Owens Fight.
I think, yeah, we had the worst promo of the night. Big
Which
E.
was?
Good old Big E.
Oh,
well,
what?
If you win good old Money in the Bank, we all become Money in the Bank winners. Langston? Yeah, I know how it works, mate. Just saying.
There's only one person that can be Spartacus.
Yeah. Are you not entertained? Whatever.
And AJ still doesn't care who John Gold is. Anyway. That's a joke for anybody that normally listens to AJ's movie reviews.
And then, of course, Teddy Long's crime.
Yes.
That's a 6-man tag, man.
Ashley, do you want to start off the match that likes to kill the crowd, which is Sheamus and Randy Orton?
Well, yeah. Surprisingly, the crowd actually didn't mind this one. They weren't disappearing or anything, or trying to commit mass suicide.
Yeah, this was a WWE crowd, though, a lot more than we've got in the last several weeks.
True. But you could tell the only reason they're doing this is obviously the Money in the Bank
Yeah.
shenanigans and chicanery and other words. Shh. And you know,
At-
it didn't do too bad a job.
Did you notice the really bad mess up from WWE during the match?
Are we talking about the commentary?
No, you can talk about that because I try to tune that out.
That
Michael.
was the best bit. It was like, 5 seconds of silence, and it's like. So yeah, there's other people in this Money in the Bank ladder match.
See, well, actually, it's weird and it's funny that you actually are talking about canceling out the commentaries because Jerry Lawler, I guess, has been criticized lately on his commentary. It should be Michael Cole, but Jerry Lawler, they've been doing it for a long time. But Jerry Lawler has been criticized, I guess, the most, and he said in an interview that you don't necessarily have to call the matches if they're on TV. You already see what's going on, so it's all about storytelling. No.
It depends on how you're looking at it. WWE
really
has a
depends
different
on the-
mindset.
Yeah, WWE looked at it a really different way because if you're watching NXT or Lucha Underground, they are calling the moves and making a quick mention about the storyline, and that's how it should be called.
And of course, if you're blind, you're flipped. So
Yeah, you're. See, that's why I provide a service here. I try to go over move for move on a couple of things so people can get an idea of what they're not talking about.
Yeah.
The comic.
That's the main issue. It was literally like, so yeah, there's other people taking part in this match.
Yep. We don't know who they are, but there's someone else.
Kofi Kingston taking part in his 6th Money in the Bank.
Well, do we need to know those statistics? Are we really gonna remember?
No, you're interrupting the promo. Kofi in his 6th Money in the Bank. Dolph is in his 5th.
Impressive.
Randy Orton, of course. Your 2013 winner.
Mm.
The JBL. Yeah, you see? You win it, you're guaranteed to win the title.
Yes.
And viewership has just skyrocketed.
Clearly they are being told over the mic,
Yeah.
get over the show that's happening. And they're being berated on the mic so much that it's like, right, we need to talk about this. Okay. Right, we need to talk about this.
Well, what I'm talking about is the fact that when he grabs a chin lock, they actually went to a graphic of the Money in the Bank match during the chin lock.
That was really annoying. I don't know whose call that was. Well, we all know probably whose call it was because Vince is in the gorilla position. That was a dumb call.
So
Dumb call. You don't do that. You don't do that during wrestling.
No, you do. It's just you get fired immediately for just doing that.
Yeah. Like the sound people tonight.
Dankus means. That's what you get fired for.
Those microphones sucked tonight because there was so much feedback it wasn't even funny.
Yeah, but I only noticed it in the opening promo though. Did you notice in Kevin Owens and they needed the John Cena and Kevin Owens?
They fixed it properly during the promo that most people didn't care about, and so they could get to the one that they did.
I bet they did because Vince was like, "Fix those microphones."
Jeez. Well, let's talk about the match, shall we? So midway through the match, Sheamus goes for the Brogue Kick. It misses. I can't call the Orton Samoa Joe Power Slam because he's going to be here soon. Sad. Snakebite DDT's countered into the Finley roll, but Orton elbows out. He does the I know what the hard cam is exploder suplex. I love Randy Orton because before he hits the exploder, he always makes sure he knows that he's facing the hard cam.
For a minute then I thought you were going into Foreigner and you were going to say, I want to know what love is.
Um, not on this podcast. Snakebite DDT is actually hit this time. He goes for the RKO, he gets tossed off, and the Brogue Kick is not really working this time. It comes off more like a knee strike. It sends Orton to the floor anyway. Tosses Sheamus over into Justin Roberts' land, or the Timekeeper's table, if you haven't been watching Pop for the longest time. Sheamus grabs a chair, the referee calls for the bell, and the Brogue Kick tosses him into the barricade, sends him into the ring post, into the other barricade, another Brogue Kick, and Sheamus leaves. So I guess this was attack after the match night, because it seems like this is third segment that we've had that.
Okay. Yeah, okay. You see what I mean, right?
In a row.
Yeah.
Third segment in a row that has ended with an attack after the match is over to get your heat back. Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you're in deep, in which case they fell asleep anyway.
You do not need to be mentioning that, sir.
How we do?
Oh my god. The crowd was really into the show tonight, I will say that right now. A lot better than the Corpus Christi crowd, but this was a typical WWE crowd, and they got what they wanted tonight, basically.
Well, to some extent, yeah.
Here's the promo that I enjoyed. The continuing humanization of Alexander Rusev.
He sold this very well in this promo. He was really serious.
This was... I really don't know whether this was, like, sort of part or partial shoot.
I think it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
And a little of column Z.
Yes.
There's a lot of pepperoni in it. I can't think why.
I don't know.
You know, the word that he was...
It's the pizza column, I don't know.
He was using the word broken a lot, and I was just like... I'm really kind of worried for Rusev's career from here on out.
Well, let's talk about exactly what he said. He comes out on his crutches with Byron Saxton because they realized to put him as an interviewer backstage because he really doesn't do anything other than that.
You keep noticing who kept doing all the backstage interview stuff.
Byron.
And not a certain Renee Young.
Yeah, there was no Renee tonight.
Think about who wasn't on the show until the very last minute.
Yeah, of course, that makes sense.
It's with Dean Ambrose. Makes sense.
Methinks the man was mastering.
I was going to say it, but I knew you would say it before I did, so I didn't have to.
Was mastering some certain body parts.
It's like Dean Ambrose is like, you want this title? You have to get it between these. Nothing.
I will say right now that Rusev came off. It's interesting because his accent was kind of going away a bit a couple of the times. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
He said, I have nothing. I have no championship. I have no career. I have no woman. I'm just a broken man with a broken ankle and a broken spirit.
He turned into Shirley Bassey.
No, he turned into me, but I don't have a broken ankle.
Turned into Shirley Bassey. I have nothing.
He lost his smile.
I thought you were going to start singing for a minute.
He did lose his smile, and I'm glad you guys skipped over what I just said. Now continue.
Well, I saw it on Twitter.
That's what that is.
Rusev says, I'm the one crushed this time, but what I want and desire, I will get back all of it.
I believe that.
I like this. I like this a lot. A lot of people will say it's too humanizing to Rusev's character, but I think in the long run, this actually will work. The problem is, this is the only way you could keep this fresh in everybody's mind, given the fact that Rusev's actually hurt right now. And he can't work a program with Dolph, which kind of sucks because it pretty much completely stops the program dead in its tracks before it can continue when Rusev is able to work again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also forgot the other reason why he said, lost my desire.
Go ahead.
50 Shades of Grey book coming out again in a couple of weeks.
Oh, boy.
It's getting bad for Rusev. He's going to have to go to bondage.
Uh, and Natalia will show him the ways, I guess, if you want to go that direction.
Whoa. And Paige.
I
Jesse Paige.
You know. Whoa.
No, I'm not judging per se. I'm saying based upon the dominatrix style outfit she wears. But then again, if you really want to go in that direction, we could always call Linda Miles. I'm sure she's not doing anything right now.
Or Sunny. Just kidding.
Or Naomi from 4 weeks ago.
So, SmackDown announces a match, which is not going to be a tag match involving Roman Reigns and Kane in some form or another.
That'll happen anyway.
Oh, I'm sure it will, without a doubt. So Kevin Owens' NXT title open challenge is going to happen.
That's going to be very interesting.
Given the fact that Samoa Joe worked Tyson Kidd on Superstars or the Dark match that we were alluded to earlier on in the podcast, could we possibly see Joe and Owens on SmackDown?
That would be huge, especially for SmackDown. Being pre-taped, that would... the internet would explode.
By the time some people are listening to this archive tomorrow, they're probably going to see the results for SmackDown, and we have been proven correct, and then it's going to be like, oh man, this is going to be awesome, and I'm still not going to watch because I don't watch SmackDown, but I will find a way to watch the match.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Breeze.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I don't think it's going to be Joe yet.
No, probably not.
Somewhere down the line, because obviously you've got that coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a couple of weeks on NXT? I think. Go by the TV schedule.
TV tapings, I think it's in 2 weeks, but I'm not positive on that.
Yeah, it's not this week. It's the following week.
No, I don't believe it's this week. They had an altercation last week, and because he came out and saved Solomon Crow, and I'll talk about that on Wednesday. But the actual match between the two, actually might be. No, it's not next week. It's the week after.
Samoa Joe versus Kevin Owens?
Yes.
Didn't I say that they should have saved that for an NXT takeover?
Yeah, but they don't have a takeover till August, so they have to do what they can.
So that's probably going to be like their final encounter, is at that takeover. Do a couple rematches on NXT television.
There's a lot of rumors saying that John Cena can end up costing Owens the NXT Championship on SmackDown. No. I highly doubt it. They wouldn't do that on SmackDown.
That would do nothing to their feud.
No. Finn Balor's a possibility, but I think given the fact he's number one contender, they pretty much already have a built-in storyline for that. It could end up being a WWE guy, possibly. May not necessarily be an NXT talent that's facing Kevin Owens on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
R-Truth, yeah, there you go.
That's what's up.
Yeah, God. You know, honestly, if you want to go, I mean, it's an NXT talent, but it's a match that I would like to see. Give him Rhino. I know I've talked about Rhino a lot tonight, but I mean...
Yeah, silence, I think I always say it.
You can have him face Neville.
Neville.
That's a possibility.
He's too busy with, money and safe deposit books.
We'll actually get to that in a minute because I'm there right now actually. That is our next match. Great segue. Neville against Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas comes.
How the hell did you get there so quickly?
I don't know. You've been kind of dozing for the last 20 minutes, so.
Ooh.
Hey, it's early in the morning. I totally understand if there's an issue with that. I get way too much crap from AJ every single week on the movie reviews about falling asleep, so it's nice for a change. It's not talking about me.
I've heard some news which I think is not going to make me fall asleep anymore. But
go ahead.
We all know, and so I won't say it on here. But people in England, I think, will be shocked. But whatever.
We'll talk about that off camera.
Probably. Well, I don't know if you even have any significance to it, but
I don't even know what was said just now, but
Yeah.
Regardless, yeah, the match that was filler for a pay-per-view, so we use it again for filler for a blooming.
and Bo Dallas could scream too, and you know what's so sad is that being the brother of Bray Wyatt loses the match before his brother. We're not there yet, but
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, Bo Dallas comes out in a somber mood. He gets on the mic and says, Neville, I tried to help you. Now I want to hurt you.
Wow.
You didn't believe.
Thank you, referee, for sucking at your job, because the first thing that Bo Dallas does is toss Neville straight up over the top rope right in front of the referee. Last time I checked, that's not a match disqualification.
Thanks, ref.
Yeah. And you can go back to ref school.
Performance Center.
Oh, and that's the other bit that I need to remember.
What's that?
This match and that Divas match.
Okay.
The most important bit. Mike Chioda reprising his role from Payback. Literally saying every 4 seconds. When submissions were put in place, it was always, do you want to quit?
To the credit of Eric Young and Kurt Angle on Impact last week, which, like, again, cheap plug we'll talk about Wednesday here on Pop, along with last week's NXT, that match actually utilized the I Quit match to the fullest of its true capabilities. Cena and Rusev was every 5 seconds a drinking game to see how many times they say, do you quit? Yeah, this match was short.
Yes. You quit, Mike. Quit.
JBL calls the cravat a European headlock, which technically probably isn't an incorrect statement, but I've never called it that before, or heard someone call it that before.
You learn something new every day.
I'll stick with the cravat. So he fights out of it, and Neville ends up firing back, flying forearm, front kick, spinning back kick, drop kick to the side of the head, charges in, eats the boot, does Bo Dallas red arrow 1, 2, 3. Really has nothing to do with anything else. I'm pretty sure this feud's over.
Sad face.
Bo Dallas needs to follow the buzzards. I've said this before, but the Bo T is gone, so he's going to have to get his 500 o'clock shadow on so he can join the Wyatt family. Any other wording about this match from either of you?
Well, the Wyatts need it, to be honest.
Yeah, no lie. Once again, no Rowan and Harper tonight.
What is going on, man? What is going on?
Yeah, no, that's not making any sense not to have Harper. I'm not a big supporter of them, but you know, if that's what the crowd wants, you know, I give it to them.
It's true.
Of course, do you want to quit? But whatever.
Do you want to quit? Do you want to quit?
Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt's the main event. Midway through the match, Rollins, Kane, and J&J come out.
Another post-match beatdown?
Yeah. I like the way this ended up because Roman starts getting slapped around and he smiles at Bray, and Bray's like, "Okay, fine. You want to smile at me? I'm going to make you pay for it." But he ducks the clothesline and Samoan drop connects. The Superman punch is countered into the Uranagi 1-2 and a kick out. Exorcist crab walk into a roll up from Roman for a near fall. Superman punch, and Rollins sends J&J down to do his bidding alongside Kane. Shock, surprise. Joey Mercury on the ring apron. He drops off. Kane gets on the ring apron, and Roman gets hit Sister Abigail, but it doesn't work this time. and Roman shoves Bray Wyatt into Kane, knocking him off. The spear, 1, 2, 3, and the Authority surround the ring, very Shield-esque. And here comes Dean Ambrose to the biggest pop of the night. On the announce table, out of absolute nowhere, and he has the championship. Roman and Dean stand tall. Spear to Joey, dirty deeds to Seth, and Dean celebrates with the championship. Triple H and Stephanie on top of the ramp to watch this, and Dean and Roman leave through the crowd. So Roman Reigns has won 3 matches in a row tonight.
Woo!
Okay.
But Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas lost their matches back to back.
Yeah. It's true. Aaron, you want to start with this match real quick?
No comment. Just kidding.
I buy that.
It wasn't a spectacular main event. I mean, unlike a lot of main events on Raw, are not spectacular. They never really finish clearly like Owens and Cena do. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted Bray Wyatt to win.
Yeah, he kind of needs a win, but then again, Bray Wyatt's not bulletproof, and I know a lot of people say he doesn't necessarily need to win to be effective, but that would require him to have a direction, and right now he really doesn't.
Yeah, it does. Sometimes it may not matter about the win and loss. As long as you're putting on a good show, yada yada yada. But yeah, when it comes to no direction, wins become important. It's like WWE did not learn from having R-Truth in the Elimination Chamber match, so you put someone like Kofi in the Money in the Bank ladder match instead of Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, Neville is basically going to make Kofi look like he's a ground wrestler during Money in the Bank.
I mean, just put Bray Wyatt in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and he doesn't have to win because we know he's not going to win. But just him being in there kind of senses and shows us that there is a direction.
I wouldn't mind him having the briefcase. I really wouldn't. But, I mean, they're not going to go with that. I know that.
Yeah, not yet. I don't think I could see him preaching about a briefcase in today's society.
Oh, I could, but they're not going to go with that. So it's not something even to bring up.
Right.
Ashley, you have any thoughts on the main event?
Not too bad. It's just a shame that the way it was being done, you're pushing a face for the world title. We're pushing a face for the Money in the Bank. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is this to cover for the fact that Roman didn't wrestle last night? So to make up for it, he wrestles in every single match. Technically, he was also wrestling in the Divas match, just in case the Bellas needed. He was going to be the Bella triplet.
He does have the hair for it.
Yeah, believe that.
Believe that.
If this was Promotion Wars or EWR, Roman Reigns would have basically lost overness because of the fact he was on the show too much tonight.
Yeah, too much Monopoly.
Yes. So yeah, that was Raw. It was okay. It wasn't a great show, but it wasn't terrible. I mean, the Kevin Owens John Cena altercation, I thought that was brilliant, really well done.
It's kind of like Elimination Chamber when you think about it. John Cena and Kevin Owens didn't do shit, and they had a masterful promo just like their masterful match. It's like they carried Elimination Chamber and they carried Raw, but it was just for the few minutes they were out in the ring, physicality, at Elimination Chamber, and then they were just out in the ring for a few minutes for talking at Raw. It seemed like these shows were built around them. I mean, they were the highlight of the show.
I'd recommend a couple matches on this show if you had to go back to watch them and you weren't able to. I liked Roman and Barrett. I really did. I thought it actually had good chemistry. I thought it worked really well. The six-man was good for what it was. I enjoyed this. Titus is a beast, and now they're finally learning that, and they're finally going to use that. Roman and Barrett, long day. Roman and Barrett, like I said, I really enjoyed that. But Roman and Bray Wyatt, it was okay. Paige and Nikki was a lot better than the three-way from Elimination Chamber. That's easily. Aaron, Ashley, any thoughts on what your favorite matches and segments of the show were?
The Kane Barrett versus Roman Reigns.
Yep.
And that was it. And for matches, obviously the favorite segment is, by far John Cena and Kevin Owens. Nothing beat that.
Nope. And I like the Rusev segment too. I thought that was really, really well done.
Yeah, for a real quick backstage interview, of course.
Ashley, what do you think? What were your favorites of the night?
Obviously, very well done. And in terms of holding stuff, the Divas division not knowing whose side they're on.
Yeah, this is getting bad, man.
Hashtag give. I think I noticed down. Hashtag give Divas division a faced worker, so that there's somebody that can actually take on the entire heel roster. It's a long hashtag, but
It's appropriate and it needs to be said.
Yeah. And also, the worst part is Kane still hasn't taken his 2 weeks' notice.
I think you took it off the table by now.
Okay, I'm leaving it on the table. It's super glued to that table.
Just because he mentioned Kane, are we forgetting that he was going to have that potential mask back on?
It's coming, but it's not there yet.
Cue that kid. It's Kane with a mask.
I mean, because honestly, it doesn't seem like it's coming at all. It seems like that was scrapped.
No, I think it's luring the fans into a false sense of security because what I think is going to end up happening in the next 2 weeks, you're going to start seeing more dissension in the ranks. The problem is you don't have 2 weeks now. You have a week.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a problem.
So you really can't do it yet, but I do think that Kane could end up coming out in the mask with actual gear, shock, surprise, and costing Seth Rollins a very major match, whether it's for the championship or not.
Mm.
Eventually that will happen, but I think it's on the back burner for the time being. Not scrapped, but it's on the back burner.
Mm.
So, real quick, do we want to talk about the Stone Cold podcast with Paul Heyman?
There's only a few things I want to touch on. That's really about it.
Well, real quick, before you say anything, I will mention right now that I've always been a big Paul Heyman supporter. Really big in ECW. I was a big Paulie Dangerously fan, and I can honestly say that the Dangerous Alliance is my favorite wrestling stable, without a doubt.
Well, you're biased.
I am very biased here. I love the Dangerous Alliance. And they talked about ravishing Rick Rude. I thought that was really cool because somebody that does not necessarily get mentioned as much as he rightfully should nowadays.
And I thought Maria Menounos' Dusty Rhodes impression at the Hall of Fame red carpet ceremony was great, but man, is Paul Heyman's impression of Dusty Rhodes better.
Well, Paul's worked with Dusty for many, many years, so it makes perfect sense why he'd have a good... Anybody that's ever worked with Dusty has a Dusty impersonation.
I thought one of the weirdest and therefore the best bits was when he went on a 2-minute tirade about Israel.
Yeah, that was weird.
I was like, wow. Completely random, which is why it was awesome.
It was great.
We talked about Brock Lesnar, we talked about CM Punk, the stuff that normally would be mentioned, and there was a lot of really intelligent conversation in there, so if you need to check that out, please do. The fact that finishers don't matter anymore because they're not protected.
True, yeah, but then it got weird right at the end.
Well, let's go into that, shall we? So, right away, Paul Heyman immediately turns this into a work by saying, "So, I'm going to ask you the questions now."
Yeah.
And he asked him about the springboard stunner, and Cena using that basically. Obviously, Austin doesn't mind that, but it's being ruined because number one, it's very dangerous, and number two, when it comes down to it, it's getting kicked out of, and that never should be kicked out of. So
It should be a finisher rather than a signature.
yeah, exactly.
He was brutally honest about that too.
It's true. It's really true, without a doubt.
It is true. I mean, while still having respect for Cena, like you said, he was being brutally honest. He was actually ripping him a new one.
Yeah, the actual wording is the fact that Cena does the stunner doesn't bother me. It's the fact people kick out of it.
Yeah. And you know, the words that got me was like, it's just, you know, people don't give a damn. And they really don't. And you know, a lot of people do compare it to, you know, yes, the stunner, because when he lands, it looks like it's a stunner. But now we know it doesn't bother Stone Cold. But if people kick out of it, it's like kick out City, bitch, with John Cena.
Finishers used to end a match, and now they're transitions. Because we're in an age now that a finisher doesn't necessarily end a match, it prolongs it. Every wrestling match is turned into a video game now.
Yeah.
That wasn't the weird stuff.
Oh no, I'm getting to that. Don't worry. We're there now, actually.
I know exactly what he's talking about. I got uncomfortable.
So Paul Heyman says, WrestleMania 32 is coming up, and it's going to be in your home state of Texas, and I was just wondering, you'd be interested in fighting Brock Lesnar. And immediately, Austin completely snaps into Stone Cold and says, if I faced him, you'd know I'd beat his ass, and I tell him that to his face right now.
Well, let's call him. Let's call him.
Let's call him right now. Heyman turns his iPhone back on. He's like, that's not him. That's not him. And Austin is truthful by saying, you want a headline for WrestleMania 32, 3 words, Texas Deathmatch.
There is no way Vince is going to agree to do that.
Honestly, I think you're wrong.
Because, well, I'm just saying from a PG perspective, because how can you make a death match, especially as the rich history Texas death matches have, how can you make that PG?
It's WrestleMania, you don't have to.
Or not too violent. Well, I noticed that because, you know, this year we had blood in the main event.
Yes. And we'll have blood in the main event this year. Or this coming year.
Yeah, this coming year. So then, you know, there's ways to work around the PG rating then.
They're already doing that if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, well,
the promos are getting a lot more risque.
Yeah, no, I've definitely noticed it, especially in the past year. I mean, if you haven't noticed it, you're living under a rock. I have definitely noticed it because every time.
Yeah, Kane, you 4'7" piece of crap. It's true.
Because every time they say the word bitch, and you know Stephanie McMahon says it like so poetically, I'm like, oh, that's not PG.
Austin starts to get frustrated, and Heyman tries to calm him down by saying, "Who's your next guest?" And he's like, "I don't give a damn. I'm talking to you."
We know who the next guest might be.
I think it's because partially that's why Heyman wanted to be on.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. To me, you're looking at a worked shoot here.
To some extent, yeah.
Yeah.
Not completely, but yeah, I see like a work shoot here because to hype up Stone Cold, not Steve Austin, but to hype up Stone Cold at the end of a very successful podcast, it seemed like everything was going fine, and then Heyman had to bring up the albatross in the room and talk about Lesnar Austin for Mania 32. And Austin was correct. And if you do a Texas death match with Austin and Lesnar, it's going to sell that building out.
Yeah, but that isn't the only bit that went weird.
Continue.
Well, because he went to his phone
Yes.
and he got a text message
Correct.
which said, "Fire all the writers."
And it was from a writer.
Yeah. That was really weird. I was cracking up at that.
And I think he was about to reveal it. And then he sort of realised, hang on, the camera might be able to see it, so he sort of saved that person's ass.
Yeah, someone that's paying attention to right now that sees a tweet to the Broken Skull Ranch, the Stone Cold Twitter account, I would say right now that just look up Fire All Writers and see who said it.
I don't even know if it was a tweet, because it was to Heyman, so...
It sounds like it was a tweet, but I could be wrong on that.
No, it probably was a text.
Yeah, no, it was a text.
That's interesting.
Oh, yeah. Especially with Vince in the room.
Oh, yeah, of course. But yeah, I really enjoyed hearing about the Dangerous Alliance, just like the fact that they were basically supposed to be the Four Horsemen, and they brought Steve Austin in, and I thought that worked really well because I was a big Stunning Steve Austin fan. I'll be totally honest with you, and I'll say it right here with everyone. I was into Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I was more into Stunning Steve Austin, to be honest.
Well, another thing too is that the stories also shared on this podcast were just probably the most fun that I've heard and listened to out of all the podcasts.
The Steiners and Sting and the Mooning, yeah, that's glorious.
Well, the Samoans did it for me. That was just like the blood and writing it on the forehead and the window and
yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Very useful, very entertaining segment, and I'm sure people are going to be talking about it for weeks to come until we get the next Stone Cold podcast.
Which will be either with Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, or Sting. I'm interested in seeing the Undertaker one because, we'll get Mark Calloway, of course.
Yeah,
but Sting and Hulk Hogan should be interesting, too. They probably have a lot of stories to tell.
Hogan and Heyman's going to be very interesting because Hogan and Heyman really have not worked together.
Yeah, that's true. But, another thing about Undertaker is that, the question's going to pop up when you're going to retire.
I hope they bring up the fact that, obviously, Heyman used to manage The Undertaker in WCW.
I did not know that.
Yep. And there is a match that I believe is on YouTube that anybody that wants to see Sting against The Undertaker until this year, potentially, that is the closest you're going to get because there is a Sting Mean Mark Callis match with Paul Heyman in Callis' corner, and you need to check that out.
Huh.
So, Ashley, what do you take away from this?
It was a good podcast.
Agreed.
It's a shame that the end sort of soured it. All theory and motives and whatever.
Heyman went into business for himself is basically what you're saying?
Partially, but also I think because, Heyman Hustle, well, not just Heyman Hustle, but the dirt sheets will now be digging like crazy to try and see if this has got any claws.
Yeah. I like how Steve Austin mentioned the letters IWC tonight too.
Yeah.
The glorious IWC.
I think that if it does happen, I think that it's a fitting end to Steve Austin's career if they really want to do it.
Plus, actually, as well, he did mention WWF.
Yeah, true.
Which, if you remember a couple of times back when Cena was with Jericho, they edited it out. they didn't have the, when the F was mentioned, they cut the sound.
That's true.
Stone Cold, they could get away with it more, because, whatever. But in terms of who's next, I don't think it really entirely matters who it's going to be somewhere down the line.
It'll be entertaining regardless.
Things that were touched on. I don't think Heyman's going to be interviewing. Heyman's going to be on Stone Cold's show on the network again. I think in terms of Stone Cold's podcast, he'll be on there again at some point down the line.
Mm.
In terms of being televised, like for a second helping sort of thing, I think there was enough stuff that sort of came out that made Vince go, no. Possibly even because of that, the mention of the plane ride.
Yeah.
Not going into too much detail, otherwise, issue.
I thought that was really interesting story because I was in Paul Heyman's corner when he was talking about, and I even made a tweet about it, that when ECW was resurrected, it became cool again because WWE brought it back the way it was, and this was on television after shortly after the millennium in 2006 or 2005 or whatnot, whenever it was resurrected. But then it became worthless.
Okay, I want to chime in on this one without a doubt because I remember I was actually live at a real ECW event back in the day, and I was a big fan of the company. When the WWE ECW came out, and they decided they wanted to rebrand ECW and turn it into another brand for WWE, the first one night stand, awesome, excellent pay-per-view, especially if you're an ECW fan.
Yeah.
The second one night stand was building when they're actually restarting up ECW for the WWE. And I thought it worked really, really well. And they did a show on the USA Network. They did a 2-hour live special that I was in attendance in Dayton, Ohio, where they had John Cena against Sabu, and they had Tommy Dreamer against Edge. And they had a big battle royal between the WWE guys and the ECW guys, and they basically called it head-to-head. I really enjoyed ECW, and when it went to the Sci-Fi Network, it was kind of like, yeah, this isn't working. They brought out an actual zombie. They brought out, like, monsters to fight the Sandman. I mean, it just wasn't the same. And then eventually, slowly but surely, they changed their minds and decided they wanted to completely get rid of what made ECW, and they changed it around. But that's how we got Rob Van Dam and CM Punk to rise to the top. So.
Oh yeah, and so it was beneficial in some ways. And without ECW, I guess we wouldn't have gotten Tiffany, aka Taryn Terrell. So
yes,
we gotta thank ECW for that.
Yes, very much. I will talk about that on Wednesday here on Pop. But yeah, that's what we have for tonight. We're building, obviously, the WrestleMania 32 now, apparently. So the seeds have been planted. Whether the actual plant rises, that's anyone's guess. But at least the seeds have been planted now. So, in essence, you could see Austin and Lesnar, Undertaker and Sting, and Hulk Hogan's retirement match at the same WrestleMania.
I will be saving up for that. After Holly Horn.
Oh, God.
Holly Horns comes first.
Yes, it does. And we will be talking about that Wednesday on James's channel on YouTube. Well, I'll tweet a link to that. Go ahead, Ashley.
I'm just going.
So yeah, that's what we've got. Once again, I enjoy the daylights out of doing these podcasts, and hopefully you enjoy them. The viewers out there, like I said, our numbers are not the highest when it comes to viewership, but it's gradually getting there, and the archive numbers are doing great. So thank you out there for watching and contributing to us making more of these podcasts. And I want to thank Aaron for joining Pop and being a part of these podcasts as well.
You're welcome.
And
a lot of fun.
And I want to thank Ashley for continuing to be my partner in crime here on Pop with these wrestling podcasts.
Yeah. Again.
Ashley will also be joining us for award season as well. So Ashley will probably be a part of our awards coverage on Pop with AJ and myself.
Starting probably next month, depending how far in advance you're going with those picks again.
I think we're starting in either July or August. I don't know yet. I think we're starting in August, but I might be wrong. We'll see. That's up to AJ.
Yeah.
But real quick, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching once again. Like I said, if you like what you're seeing, then spread the word, tweet. You can share these videos. You could go to the channel and subscribe to the channel. You can like the Facebook fan page on Facebook. It is Suro and Disney Pop or Suro and Disney and Pop. And while you're at it, you can go ahead and send me a friend request on Facebook. It's Owen Disney. It's a picture of me with Tim and Jen Tracker from Halloween Horror Nights 23, and that's very easy to spot. And that's the picture I go with. And if not, it's me with Bill and Ted from Halloween Horror Nights 24. So, yes, it's a Horror Nights picture, so it's me and other people, so check that out. While you're at it, you also can check out Ashley. Ashley is available on his Twitter. It's at AshIsMyNameUK, and you can catch him every single week on The Whole Indie Show with Sandro on the SNS Radio Network. Ashley, can you give the viewers a sneak peek of what we're getting this week?
Probably reacting to the whole news of Joe possibly heading now permanently to the what that means in terms of the whole Ring of Honor thing.
Mm-hmm.
And all that. Plus, stupid decisions happening in by Gabe Sapolsky again.
Oh, boy.
Be considered that much of a surprise.
Sadly not. So, also, Ashley joins us every Saturday here on Pop for a Gaming with Ash segment. Ashley, you talking Konami this week?
No. I'm actually... It was going to be a smorgasbord of sorts, but
okay.
Since I think it's going to be about FIFA.
Okay, that's cool.
The game and actually the real sport. So, Gaming with Ash takes a spin-off because we're talking about sports.
The only time that we will ever mention sports on this channel.
Possibly, but I think as well it may also evolve into sort of not a second video, but a two-in-one, because after a certain incident that happened in the UK, oh my word, I'm getting deaf.
That was loud.
Getting deafened by a rampant rabbit. So I lost my train of thought. A certain incident happened in the UK this past weekend. It's a reflection on the fact that Nintendo are very corrupt bastards.
Really?
Yes. I won't say anything because I'll leave it all to the video, but after it, I hope you'll realise that perhaps you shouldn't really be supporting Nintendo titles, despite the fact that they announced one only like 24, 48 hours ago, which is one people will buy because it's a franchise it's a cult classic sort of thing.
Well, I support Nintendo coming to Universal.
It's like $90. More on that. On Saturday.
Alrighty, that sounds good. And also, you can check out Mr. Entertainment, Aaron. He is all over social media. He's got every single thing imaginable. Aaron, break it down for the people.
Break it down. No, I was kidding.
The answer's here. No.
It's so late. Continue.
No, it's no worries. Mr. Entertainment on Vine and live stream, and Mr. Entertainment 92 on Instagram and Facebook, Mr. ENT92 on Twitter, which I feel I'm the most active recently on, and Mr. Entertainment also on Wrestling Amino, again, which is a great app that I haven't mentioned a lot. It's an app just for wrestling fans, really cool. Check it out. I'm on there, and that's just wrestling content. Then again, all my other social media networks are about a broad of topics of all forms of entertainment as well. Similar to Pop, so we share the same passion for entertainment.
Yep.
And also this week, I am attending the Insidious Chapter 3 advanced screening as expected. I'm doing pretty good getting these advanced screening passes, just being online at the right time, the right place, and so I got to catch up on my movie reviews. I still have yet to publish the ones for Spy and San Andreas, so I got to post those before I see Insidious Chapter 3, because San Andreas is already playing, and Spy comes out this Friday. And this Saturday I'll have social media coverage of the Star 94.5's free concert of Fantasia Barrino in downtown Orlando, and live tweeting of wrestling, since Wednesday night will be wrestling night.
Yes, it will. Real quick, I'll give you guys a quick programming note. It is now Tuesday, so this is your video for Tuesday. It'll be up archived as soon as I can get it up, probably maybe in a couple hours. If not, it may not be up till the morning, because I'll shoot with you guys. I got to work at 11. So after I get off work today, I'm actually going to Entourage. I'm going to do Entourage, and on Wednesday, I got another work day. But after that, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, I will be joining Alex and Tristan once more, along with James, because James is hosting a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. We'll be talking about Orlando and Hollywood. That's going to be, a link will be in my Twitter, so you can check that out. And also on Wednesday, NXT and Impact from last week. I talk about that. I talk about last week's NXT, along with Impact Wrestling's May Mayhem, which is the last ever Friday night Impact showing. On Thursday, brand new Sip and Snack, I'm going to be focusing on different colors. I think that it makes perfect sense that we're talking about different colors, beverages and snacks coming up this way. Friday, AJ's movie reviews will be tackling the other movies that we're going to be watching on Thursday, along with Entourage, which are unfortunately Spy, and Insidious Chapter 3, which actually I'm looking forward to. Saturday, Gaming with Ash does return, as Ashley did mention, and Sunday, brand new versus Cryptic Common is Cameron, and we get a break of the pay-per-view podcast on Sunday, but Monday we'll roll into Raw, and we'll talk about that. Halloween Horror Nights news coming very soon. Once we get that information, I'm guessing as soon as this weekend, I'll drop you guys a video based on that. And Universal Orlando Popcast with the usual cast of suspects is coming up later in the next couple of weeks when we get some more information. Because obviously we've announced Kong, we've announced Volcano Bay, and now we announced NBC Sports Grill and Brew. And I'm pretty positive there's some more announcements to come before this week is over, given the fact that the 25th anniversary of Universal Studios Florida is on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. A lot more is coming.
And Monday is officially 100 days till I head back down for Halloween Horror Nights. So yes,
woo!
That's what we've got. And once
people count the days.
And maybe eventually Ashley will be able to join us live somewhere down the line if he gets everything in order somewhere down the line. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, passport control would like to know, where my passport is, if that was ever going to happen.
That's true.
Mm.
So that being said, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Once again, viewers that have joined us throughout this entire podcast, once again, thank you very much. We know it's extremely late.
Still up this late, you idiots.
Not as late as it is for Ashley. That is for sure.
That's why I fell asleep again.
Yes. And that's what happens when we end up starting at 11 o'clock at night or 11:30 or midnight. We'll go back to normal next week for Raw's Popcast. We'll start at about 11:30 normal time. And that'll be your go-home show to Money in the Bank. And hopefully, as long as everything lines up, I will somehow find a way, by hook or by crook, to get to Money in the Bank to be there live. If not, it's going to be me and Aaron talking Money in the Bank on Sunday night after the pay-per-view's over. So that being said, once again, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Aaron and Ashley, thank you again for joining me tonight.
Yes. Sir.
And
Yeah. I was just waiting. I was waiting for the loud enough pause. So because remember, being on my tablet, the microphone is less than good.
yes, true.
I can't really plug in like a USB stereo mic to something which doesn't have a USB socket.
Fair enough.
Try and break the tablet, but
So as always, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until next week, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
do you want to quit?